All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Otis,
And I'm Jerry.
and this is Two Guys Catching Up on Football. Our daily, our weekly roundup of all things that we love to talk about, which is football.
Well, it's been a crazy day, so yeah.
Yeah, so for most of you just maybe clicking in the first time Jerry and I used to work together, I retired. But every Monday we would talk about football for the first 2 or 3 hours of work, and they would pay us to sit there and talk about football. So we would. So we're not analyzing games. We don't really analyze games. We just kind of give you our opinion. And whether you agree or disagree, we don't care. It's our opinion. So, so we're going to start as we usually do, because this is actually a lot more interesting than the NFL game right now. And,
Oh,
and,
much
and
better.
college football, Jerry likes to think that he knows what the committee should do, um, and they never do. So
Well,
it's
of course not, because they're all SEC homers, basically. Like I even saw, I'm sure Alabama is probably thinking, we're fine. We got nothing to worry about. I don't know. They should. They shouldn't be in there. They got beat by, right? I think Oklahoma's unranked.
Oklahoma's unranked. I think that's their third. I think it's their third loss to an unranked team this year, or second. I,
Yeah, then what business do they have in there other than being an SEC darling?
yeah, hey, I agree with you. I agree with you. But the job of the committee is to put the teams in there that's going to garner the most money. It's
Oh,
not to
yeah,
do
that's
what's
true.
right.
Well,
It's
that
to
means Bama will get in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not to do what's right. It's to do what's financially feasible for everyone. So that's what they're gonna do.
Oh,
So
sure.
but it well, with Colorado losing, with
Yeah.
Utah losing,
Yeah.
Iowa State won, and who's the fourth team?
Arizona State
Arizona State.
knocked
So
off BYU. So
right. So
the
they're
Big 12 is a mess.
all four of those
Yeah.
teams are 6-2 within the Big 12.
Yeah.
So I kind of read what they said the tiebreaker was. And Colorado is on the outside looking in
Yeah.
if they all wind up tied because the other three teams have them beat because they will go to common opponents and that's the four common opponents. And one of the teams has not lost to any of the common opponents. The other two are 3-1, and Colorado is 2-2. So
I think. I
it's
think what I saw yesterday, and that could have changed by now, was Arizona State and Iowa State now controlling their own destiny.
well they
If they
yeah
win, they're in. Yeah.
yeah
I
they
mean,
kind
they're
of
in the title game. Yeah.
right they're in the title
Yeah.
game, and so
Yeah.
they have
Same.
to
Same with the other one is Georgia versus the winner of Texas and Texas A&M.
right.
Yeah.
Georgia will have to win the SEC championship. They'll have to.
Wow. Even with two losses.
Well, because if they lose in the
Oh, true.
championship game, they got three
Yeah,
losses.
that's true.
Yeah, so they need to win to get in.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
so I don't think any of the three lost teams will get in. But then again, I don't know what the
Well,
committee is going to look at, and they could go with a three-loss SEC team instead
yeah.
of a more deserving two-loss Big Ten or two-loss any other conference, you know. So the ACC, SMU is in the championship game. They've already gotten their way, and so Miami has to win the last game and then they'll be in the championship game.
Yeah.
If they lose, then it'll be Clemson.
Mm.
So it's just kind of, I don't really want to see Clemson in there, because they have been such a darling um,
Oh, sure.
for the
It's going
committee
back
for so
to
long.
yeah,
And them and Alabama both have been
going
such
back to
darlings for the
Lawrence. Yeah.
committee, yeah, that they just put them in. They don't really care who they lost to or
Now
anything
that
different.
now you already make me think. The NCAA. They have to be fools not to be thinking. You know what? And I think they weren't they going to expand it even more to 18.
I hope not.
Oh, really? I think that'd be real juicy.
No, I don't think there's 18 teams capable of winning the national
Well, that's a
championship.
little tight, but yeah. I
12
mean,
is 12
one
is
of
actually
our
about six more than I think really is
yeah. I
capable
mean,
of
I
winning.
gotta agree. As much as we were rooting for Army, who was at 19, they shouldn't be in the playoff or anywhere near it
They're
because
not gonna go in.
no, and they're
It's
one dimensional. Dimensional. I finally got to watch them, and all they did is
yeah,
run Captain America every play up the middle. So
yeah, and
yeah.
Boise State I think needs to be the champ in order to get in of the Mountain West Conference. I think they
Oh
need to
yeah.
be the champion, and so. But one thing this is going to do, I still think once you get past the top six teams, those other six can't win it.
No.
But what will happen though is that one and done thing where these are kids, these are 18,
Oh yeah.
19, 20-year olds. You don't know how they're going to feel that day.
Yeah.
And the team that you think should win might not. That's
Well,
the only thing is putting a little more excitement into
I,
the playoffs, and I
yeah,
think that's good.
I agree with you completely. I think it's more exciting. I'm just being hypothetical here. Let's say that Ohio State played Boise State. Now that could be real ugly, but we've had those games before, anyways, that are real bad.
Yeah,
So, and at some point, a team being hypothetical, like a Boise State, will beat Ohio State
oh
because of
sure,
what you just said. So,
yeah,
and that would be awesome.
it
So,
would be, it would
yeah,
be.
and so they're
Of
doing the
course,
right thing.
that would encourage them to. They wouldn't go to an 18 team; it would go to a 20. Because the top four
Yeah.
would get buys, and then
Well,
you've got 16 games, so you got an even amount of games.
but
So
you got to keep, man, the SEC is going to want you to be their commissioner if they're going to go.
they'll
Don't
just keep
just say
adding
just the whole
SEC teams.
conference is
Yeah,
exempt. Go
yeah, they'll
ahead and
just put
go
the whole
in.
conference in and
Yeah.
not worry about it. Them in the Big Ten, they'll divvy it
Even
up.
Vanderbilt gets in. Everybody just come
Yeah,
on in.
everybody's in. So, yeah. Well, hey, this is the last week. The playoff rankings come out Tuesday, and that'll be the next to last one. The last one is December 2nd,
Mm,
and then that'll set who's in the playoffs.
yeah.
So that one that telecast I might watch
Oh,
because
I think so. That'll be
I would
interesting.
be
Yeah.
interested to see how many SEC teams get in there because right now to me there's like maybe three SEC teams that should get in and that's it and maybe three from the Big Ten, maybe four from the Big Ten. Indiana should be in there. They should go. I mean, they played badly in their one
Oh, yeah.
spotlight game, but then again, Alabama's lost to two non-ranked teams. At
Yeah.
least they
So,
lost to the number two team in the
and
country.
Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta give them the benefit of the doubt also. So we'll see how that goes. So let's do and I didn't really like any of the games today. They all, a lot of them turned out to be a lot more exciting than they should have
Yeah, they
been.
sure did.
But
Oh yeah,
we'll run through them really quick. And so Jerry, for those of you who are just clicking in the first time, Jerry is a combination of Bad Luck Schleprock and Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. I guess he could be called Eeyore Schleprock because when it comes to the Cleveland Browns, that's his team, and no matter what, something bad is coming or woe is
absolutely.
me is going to happen,
I've
even if
seen
it's
it
a 14-point lead with 2 minutes left, they'll decide how to blow it. But
Yeah,
they
I've
didn't
seen
blow it.
it for. Let me see if I can even do the math. About 37 years
Yeah.
I've been watching them, and it does happen. And when I see Jameis Winston throw a pick, you better believe it. I expect another one on the next possession. It's just a matter of time.
But they hung in there.
Yeah,
But then
they
again,
did. I give them a lot of credit. They played a good game, and of course, Cleveland Browns fans, many of them now want to sign Winston to a 15-year deal. So
yeah,
I don't. It's a strange fan base. I'll tell you that.
it is a weird fan base.
Yeah.
Almost as weird as the Eagles, but we'll get to the Eagles here in a second. So, and then the Titans beat the Texans. Um,
Uh,
and so the Titans, even with Will,
Will
I'm going
Levis.
to give you another pick six,
Yeah.
Levis. He throws a lot of pick sixes. Eh, But
Well,
he
I
came
don't
up.
even know what kind of mayonnaise he's selling. Something
Oh,
old
it doesn't
farm
matter
mayonnaise
because
or
it's
something.
got to make you sick
Well,
because he throws a pick
I
six.
do think I saw today somebody said that they finally Stroud. It's a good point. They teams have film on Stroud from last year, and they figured him out a little bit. They
I,
figured
I
out what's
I
going
don't
on.
think it's
Yeah,
so much they figured him out. The offensive line is no good because
and they are missing Diggs. Yeah,
as soon as the ball got snapped, somebody from Tennessee was already past the line of scrimmage on top of him. And so if they don't fix the offensive line, he will not get beyond last year. And last year they were 10-7, so they weren't
yeah.
exactly
And
world
there's
beaters. They were
I,
just they were just better than anybody thought they would
I
be.
haven't looked recently, but I gotta imagine they're still in control of that division
Yeah, they're still leading.
because you
If
only
they,
got the Colts, Jaguars, and I can't even think of the other team.
the
Uh,
Titans.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so if they had won today, they would have had a 3-game lead or 4-game lead. As it is, they only have a 3 or 2-game lead,
Well,
but they
with
still have a
7 to
lead.
go, they're fine.
Yeah, and then the Vikings pulled it off against the Bears.
Yeah.
Now then, my buddy Jerry Nostradamus here called the Bears dead with the whole
Well,
fourth quarter to play. He called them dead. Then after they got the onside kick, the Bears are alive. I'm like, come on, dude, make up your mind.
well, I
Either
mean,
they're dead or they're
how often,
alive.
one, do you see an onside kick? But at the same time, how often do you see a punt receiver wave off everybody else and say, get away from the ball, everybody? And then the ball smacks him right in the leg
Yeah, I
and he
know.
fumbles it away. So,
I know.
well, maybe that
But
sums up the Bears.
that's the
The
Bears.
Bears
That is the
season. They
Bears.
look good. They were 4-2, and they look good, and then they're dead. But I got
Yeah.
it
So
backwards.
now there's a lot of calls to fire Eberflus, especially coming from me and you.
Oh,
So
sure. I think
we'll
they need to make a change.
we'll see what will happen. And then the Cowboys beat the Commanders. The Cowboys are the lead story when they've lost 5 in a row, and they'll be the lead story tomorrow because they won.
Oh,
I
sure.
I'm
It's
just
that's Jerry Jones's team,
yeah.
and I'm not entirely sure. That's another head scratcher. As I didn't see the highlight. Didn't the Commanders score on a kickoff
Yeah, no, not on the kickoff.
or on a pass from
What
Daniels
happened
again?
was the Cowboys, the Commanders scored, the Cowboys got the kickoff, and Turpin ran it back for a touchdown. So now they're up again by 8, or up by 7, and then
Daniels.
from their own 14-yard line, they got an 86-yard pass play to McLaurin, and so they went to kick the extra point, and the guy missed it, and so now they have to try an onside kick. They kicked it right to the Dallas Cowboy, who picked it up off of the Sunday hop like he was a shortstop in baseball, and he was already past the line of Washington defenders when he touched the ball. I think he touched the ball like after 5 yards and was gone. And so I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen before. Actually, I was part of that when I was in high school. It happened. They did an onside kick, and one of our guys grabbed it on the fly and took off and just ran it back. So it happens, but that was one they didn't really want to have happen.
And that saved McCarthy. Probably. Maybe not though. Yeah.
I still don't think McCarthy has anything to worry about.
Probably not.
If Jerry Jones will hang in with Jason Garrett,
Yeah.
if he would hang in with Jason Garrett for 10 years, I don't think he ever won 10 games. Maybe he did, but he was 8-8 a lot.
Oh yeah.
And McCarthy's had won 12 games in the last 3 years. I think he's just going to chalk it up to just one of those
You
years.
know, the thing you make me think that's baffling a little bit, a weird thing to me about the Cowboys is they seem to get blown out fairly frequently, I think. And then they'll show their record during the game, and it's like, well, wait a minute. How are they 5-5? I think even after today, they might be 6-5.
I don't think they are.
Are you sure?
I don't know for certain.
I thought
but I
today's
don't
game
think
they said they
are.
were 5-5, and I thought, how in the world are they 5-5?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. But
Well,
let's move on. Enough Cowboys talk.
Yeah, that's true.
The Dolphins blew out the Patriots, and no big surprise.
No.
The Chiefs had a tough time with the Panthers, but I had texted you when the
You
Panthers
called it on that one.
when the Panthers tied it up at 27-all. I'm going, look here, you can't give Mahomes 13 seconds
No.
and expect to win the game.
And he
You're gonna
did.
give
He took
you're gonna
advantage
give him
of
a
it.
minute and a half. No, it was a minute and 46 seconds.
Yeah,
He almost
and-
had the full 2 minutes. It's like, come on. So,
And of course they won it. Yeah.
but the Panthers acquitted themselves well, so that was good. And then our boy Baker played well today. Did you see? Oh, you'll have to. If you hadn't seen the clip, you'll have to see this clip. What's the running back's name for Tampa Bay? I can't think of his name. Anyway,
Not where he's blocking.
he's Bucky or Bucky something. Bucky Irving, I think. So anyway, he broke a run. They're deep in their own territory. He broke a run, cuts across the field. Who should run across the screen, leading them downfield, but Baker?
I saw
Looking to
that.
throw a block on somebody. And it's like, come on, dude. You're only one good hit, and they ain't gonna be afraid to hit you now, because you're blocking.
I have a real a Baker. I don't know what to think of Baker. I kind of have
no.
a love-hate thing with Baker.
I love the guy. He's
He's a gamer, but he's also I don't know. He drives me crazy sometimes.
He's
as
just
well.
funny, and
Yeah.
his teammates
Well-
love him because he does stuff like that. He runs downfield to throw a block, and
Well,
and
maybe
most
you could. Yeah, he might be
most of those-
arguably the guy that has the most fun
oh
in
yeah,
the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah. And most of the defensive backs aren't really as big as he is, so he ain't worried about blocking one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's a pretty husky guy. He's not tall, but he's pretty
Pretty
wide.
big.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he ain't worried about it. The Lions did what they should have done, and that was the Colts hung in for a while, but it was
Yeah.
just the
The
Lions
Colts
were
need
too
to get
much.
rid of that. I turned it on for 5 seconds, and I thought they were playing the Titans because of that uniform. Would you
Yeah, I
just stick
didn't.
to the old school uniform with the horseshoe on there?
Yeah, I didn't mind the all blue with the jersey and the pants, but have the white helmet with the horseshoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah.
And then the Broncos beat the Raiders. No big surprise.
Not surprised.
Yeah. The Seahawks beat the Cardinals. No
Well,
big surprise.
well, I'm surprised by that one. What kind of a team is Seattle? What kind of a team is anybody in that division right now?
I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
but even the Niners they're only a game out of first
Yeah,
place.
but the 49ers are not going to win that division. So,
I don't know.
well, you're going off of how they were last year. That's different than this year.
Well,
They
their
they've
defense
won
is not the same. I'll
they've
say
won
that.
they've won 2 games in a row once this year. The defense today, I think, had to have given up more than 300 yards of rushing. Had to have.
Probably not. Maybe 200.
No,
Well,
no. Green Bay had more than 100 yards in the first quarter.
wow, really? I
Yeah.
saw by halftime. I think they had 100.
No.
Oh.
Green Bay had
Well,
over
that's
a
different.
hundred. Green Bay
But
kept the Green Bay kept the ball for 7.5 minutes in the first quarter, just basically running the ball.
but I've also never seen, and it goes back to was that last week? The Niners played Seattle and lost.
Yeah, it lost in the last
Yeah,
11
but
seconds.
I've never seen that in my memory a Niners team more undisciplined. And what I mean by that is like today, every time the Packers punted to the Niners committed a holding penalty.
Well, yeah,
Every
but,
time. They
yeah, but
even brought
everybody,
back Debo's. Debo almost took it to the house.
yeah, everybody does that though. That's not where
Yeah,
the
but I
that's
think the
not
Niners this year are a little more undisciplined.
that's not where the discipline comes in. The Niners had a lot of penalties on offense, holding. They had a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of. They had. That's where the discipline is. It's not so much on special teams because a guy can get past you, and you reach out, and it's going to get called as a hold. So I
Yeah.
don't see special teams as a discipline problem. I see getting all the penalties on offense and defense as discipline problems. So they're
Yeah.
not very disciplined then.
They're not.
And then we have tonight's game, which I think is going to be good, and I think the Rams are going to surprise everybody and beat the Eagles.
Same here. I don't think that. I think with the Commanders losing, I think the Eagles will win the East. But I'm still just, you know me, I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts or the Eagles. I never am.
Yeah, I know, and neither are the Philadelphia Eagles fans. They still want Sirianni fired. They're 8-2, but they don't
Oh
like
yeah,
the,
well yeah,
they don't like the way they're 8-2.
yeah.
It's kind of like you with the Browns last year when they were winning all those games. It was like, well, I don't like the way they're winning the games. They're winning, but
Yeah, no, I
they're,
can be like that for sure. You know that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and then
Monday is
Ravens and Chargers. So John has never lost to Jim in the NFL. They've only played twice, once in the Super Bowl. So I don't
where is
see
that game at?
it's in Los Angeles. But there's no home field advantage in the
No,
NFL anymore.
I'm going to stick with the Ravens on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And because
I love what Jim Harbaugh has done with the Chargers,
oh
but
yeah,
I'm going to stick with him.
he's got him in
Stick
position
with the
to make the
Ravens.
playoffs, but the Ravens is a step up in weight class for him, so I think that might be a
I
little
just said
too
all
much.
I pictured all of a sudden was, well, wait a minute. Well, it's the same in Baltimore, but SoFi, you got a controlled environment of weather, and you have Lamar on turf. Good luck stopping Lamar and Henry for that matter.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah. So I'm gonna look at this real quick. The Cowboys are
Or 4-7.
4-7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I looked too.
I didn't think they were 500. No,
Okay.
they lost way too many games. So
Yeah. All right then.
yeah. So but anyway, well, thanks, buddy, for another week. I appreciate it. It was fun, um, and we actually got it done um, on a Sunday.
On a Sunday, and there's no lighting problems on my side.
Yeah, and there's no you're not in the witness protection
Yeah,
program.
exactly. So,
All right, so here's our traveling music.
yeah. And a happy Thanksgiving from us to all of our listeners
Yes,
and
most
viewers.
certainly.
Yeah.
As my partner said, happy Thanksgiving. This is Otis,
And I'm Jerry.
and this is Two Guys Catching Up on Football. Take care. Ciao.
Be safe.